Hey, good evening everybody. Welcome to my kitchen and happy Valentine's Day to all you lovers out there. I'm really excited about tonight's live stream because tonight I'm actually talking about something I'm really passionate about, and this actually happened last year. Sorry, switching off my computer. This happened last year. It was part of my weight loss journey. In fact, it was quite a pivotal part of my weight loss journey, and that was beating bloating. And in fact, if you've followed me on whichever channel you follow me on, my weight loss journey has actually spanned 25 years. And what I've learned through this process is that really there's a bunch of factors involved when it comes to your health and your wellness. One of the biggest things that's been a real struggle is the fact that I had really bad irritable bowel for probably 20 plus years. And mine was so bad. Hello to you if you're watching, by the way. Feel free to say hello and message in. I was so bad, like at university as an example, I would have to leave my lectures because I had uncomfortable bloating. I had gas, which was really noisy, so my stomach would kind of go, kind of like that. I'd want to be honest, I'd want to kind of fart all the time, which is really awkward when you're in a lecture. And I had really bad diarrhea. Now, sometimes that would even lead to me feeling really nauseous and even having really bad acid reflux. So basically, something was going on inside my body, and it really kind of increased my potential to gain weight. So it was one of the triggers in my weight loss journey where I actually started to gain more weight. And over this journey, I've learned a bunch of things about the way that we process food. So last year I met with Lynette Hill from My Remedy, and she taught me a lot about gut health. And in fact, in a few weeks' time, we're relaunching Health Bites, which is a web TV show about all different aspects of health. But the first week we're actually talking about gut health, because your gut is basically your second brain, and it has a huge amount of influence over your overall health, including your weight. Sorry, I'm just going to refresh the page because I can't see anybody. I can see there's people watching, but I can't see who's watching. And I just want to be able to say hi to you guys as well. So basically, in the process of, oh, hello, Rick Rorangi, good to see you. And by the way, I am going to show you a recipe tonight that helps with your gut, so do stick around. But in the process of working on the Health Bites show, I learned about the way that different foods actually are metabolized in our guts and how they contribute to our health. And one of the first things I learned is that I am actually carbohydrate intolerant. So I ring my mum, and I said to my mother, Helena, I've actually just learnt that I am, in fact, carbohydrate intolerant. And she said to me, well, look at your health history. Oh, hi, Lee Davidson, good to see you. Hi, Heidi, good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well, honey. Sorry, I haven't been able to see your comments till now, so hello. Gina Sterling, good to see you, Nanny Gina. Good to see you watching. You're going to love tonight's recipe, by the way. A very, very tasty recipe, and it's good even if you are a bit sensitive to sugars, because tonight is actually talking about the core of why I suffered from really bad bloating. Carbohydrate intolerance, what you're actually intolerant to is starch. And starch comes in 4 different forms. So I've written it down so I get it right. Starch is basically sugar, right? So for some of you, you might have what we call lactose intolerance. You're not necessarily intolerant to the milk, but if you drink milk, dairy milk or cow's milk, and you get bloated, you're actually intolerant to the lactose, which is actually a sugar. So people who are sensitive to sugar, so people with, say, type 2 diabetes or even type 1 diabetes, or if you're in a position where you've eaten a starchy food and you go into a carbo coma afterwards, you're actually sensitive to the sucrose. Now, sucrose is your standard table sugar, and that comes from cane sugar. The third type of sugar, which is present in our food that lots of people are intolerant to, I better get this right, is maltose. And that's actually present in grains. So if you're following a keto diet or a low carb diet, you probably have removed grains from your diet as well. And that's because grains, and for me, I would eat vegetable soup which has like minestrone, which has those grains in it. Oh, I swear within 20 minutes, I'd bloat up an entire dress size. It's just not pretty, and the pain was so bad. I don't want that for you guys. Oh, Rick, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to me too. Thank you so much. And Leon and Tammy, good to see you as well. And the final starch or the final sugar that you need to be mindful of is cellulose. Now, this is the short chain sugars that are in foods like starches, like the things that might be in, say, your pastas and your breads and things like that you can't process. Now, if you're carb intolerant like I am, chances are any one of those or even all of those you'll be sensitive to, and that can be one of the key triggers for bloating. So when it comes to carbohydrates, you may not be celiac and you may not even be gluten insensitive, but it can be that cellulose in there that you're actually reacting to. It's a type of sugar. So in knowing that, I wanted to talk about bloating, and I wanted to share with you a recipe that if you are having some bloating and discomfort, this is something you can actually drink, and it's so tasty, particularly before bedtime. And it will help your body relax, it will help your digestive system, and it's tasty as heck. It is so good for your health. So first of all, there's 3 different types of, when people talk online, you might see people saying, oh, I've lost 20 pounds in 2 months, or oh, I've gained 5 pounds overnight. If you see posts where people are dropping weight really quickly or gaining weight suddenly, it's not fat. And I need you guys to understand that right now. It's actually water weight. So if you're in any online health groups or weight loss groups, I'm in like millions of them, and I see these people going, oh, I've gained 5 pounds overnight. Chances are what's actually happened in their bodies is they've had too much salt and they're actually holding too much water. It can be your hormones, it can be stress, all sorts of things that make you hold extra water, because a 5 pound weight gain in a short couple of days is actually impossible as fat. When you do notice fat gain or even fat loss is when it happens gradually. And to gain one pound of fat, you actually need to eat over 3,500 calories a day for a long sustained period of time. So gaining weight, actual fat weight, is quite hard. Now, both of those will register on the scales, but again, that's different from bloating. So bloating may not, you'll feel it, it may not register on the scales, but all of a sudden you've gone up an entire dress size. Well, this is different again, and it's a sign that whatever you've eaten or your environment is creating inflammation in your body. Hi, Greg Rogan, by the way. Gary Harkma, good to see you. Claire Pearson, Gina Sterling. Hello, Monique. Looking forward to the recipe. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Thank you so much. Awesome to see you guys online. Oh, hi, Bobby Joe. Good to see your health is doing really well as well. I'm so happy for you. And Jim Hollis, good to see you. So the difference between how you know if you've had any sort of weight gain or you've gone up a dress size, the best way to tell whether it's water, whether it's fat, whether it's actually just bloating, because the way you deal with them is quite different, is to actually have a look at your body. So if it's water weight, as I mentioned, it will be a sudden weight increase and a sudden size increase. Often, if you look at photos of yourself, you probably over a period of time have got puffier and puffier looking. I noticed this about myself last year. So from the beginning of last year until about, I guess June or July, I just seemed to get puffier and puffier and puffier. And I thought I ate really well. It turns out the foods that I thought were really healthy actually inflamed my body. So my cells all of a sudden decided to store extra water, which made me look like I was getting bigger, but it's just water weight. So when I started going low carb and eliminating those foods that inflamed my body, I actually dropped weight really quickly. And I thought, wow, this is a miracle. Now I understand what was actually happening. Water weight is different from fat. As I mentioned, it grows over a period of time and it feels different. So here's a little test. If you've got excess weight, particularly around your belly, chances are that could be bloating, but it feels different, and I'll go into that in a minute. But if you tap your tummy and it kind of ripples across, so if you're lying down, say, and you tap your tummy and it kind of ripples across, you're storing excess fluid. If it's fat, you'll be able to grab it. It might be harder if it's longer term fat, but you'll still be able to feel it, and you might even be able to feel like almost like there's bubble wrap inside, so you might be able to feel the kind of the layers or the chunky bits of fat. If it's bloating, It's incredibly hard and incredibly uncomfortable. And that's how you can tell the difference. And the reason why I'm saying that is it's good to know where you're at, whether you look at yourself in photos over the last 6 months, if you have had weight gain or dress size gain, look at your Facebook photos, you know, check yourself out and do a stock take. If you've got lots of fluid, you'll know it, and you might have blood in your arms, as an example. If you press your ankle, if it's a bit puffy around the ankle, if you press it, and when you remove your finger, that indentation stays in your ankle, or if it leaves a big white mark, chances are you're holding extra fluid in there. So that is water weight. And if it's bloating, like I said, you'll know it'll be uncomfortable. You'll probably want to fart all the time. You might hear it gurgling, and it can lead to other things like nausea, unfortunately, heartburn. It kind of all goes together. So that shows me there's inflammation in your diet, which is causing bloating. So, oh, Jim Hollis has just said, oh, hang on 1 second, please. Okay. Sorry about that. Pete, my technical producer tonight, was saying there was just a few challenges with the sound crackling a little bit. I hope it's all sorted now. Okay, so you know what to look out for now. You know that chances are if you press your stomach and it's sore, if you're bloating up by the end of a day, if you're bloating up a dress size, you can't gain weight that fast, but chances are it's inflammation in your gut, reacting to either your environment, your stress, the fact that you haven't slept well, or the food that you're eating. So I really wanted to look at that. When it comes to bloating, let's talk about some of the causes. So the causes can be a food intolerance or a sensitivity. Like I say, you may not be celiac, or you may not be gluten sensitive even, but it may be that the food, and it could be the sugars in the food, are really reacting to your system. It could be a sign of undiagnosed disease. So if you have continual gut issues, if you're bloating every day, which I thought was normal, it's not. And I highly recommend you speak to a naturopath, a homeopath, your GP, even a chiropractor can help you with things like that. So it could be a sign of that, or it actually could be a food intolerance or sensitivity. And it's amazing, some of the foods that can actually cause bloating are simple things like cabbage, broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, onions can be a big one as well, and prunes actually. So things that we think are going to be really healthy for us, some people are actually really sensitive to those foods as well. For me, like I said, minestrone soup, I thought it was a healthy option. Little did I know it actually doesn't work for my body. The symptoms, like I said, painful, uncomfortable, heartburn. It can even make you feel a bit anxious. You can get vomiting, diarrhea. That was probably one of the worst things I really suffered from. And basically it's a buildup of gas and discomfort in your gut, which is inflaming your cells and creating this problem. So the key things that you want to stay away from when you are going through bloating are things that are gaseous. So you probably don't want to have eggs at that time, though protein is really good to eat during that period. You want to stay clear of sodas, even like plain soda water. Keep away from it. Flush your system out with just real water with a squeeze of lemon. One of the best things you can actually have. But yeah, eat more protein and eat more foods that are more plant foods that are not cruciferous and that are not too starchy, because sometimes it can be those starches that can really increase your bloat. Sachin Shepudira, I hope I said that properly, I'm so sorry. Awesome, very informative talk, thank you. So now I'm going to show you a food that's actually going to help you if you are struggling with bloating, and this is super tasty and I'm so excited about it. Ian Hay, good to see you. Mark Hadfield, kia ora to you. Howard Nui, John G. Riddell, awesome. Jay Levy, how are you, sweetness? Good to see you. Amanda Chandler, hello to you. So what I thought I would share with you is one of my favourite recipes. I love going to cafes, and we all know that one of the hot foods at the moment, or the hot drinks I should say, is the good old turmeric latte. And the reason why it works is it's not only is it tasty and comforting, it's actually wonderful for our health. And there's a whole bunch of reasons. First of all, the key ingredients in here, I have preheated some almond milk. And today I'm using So Good almond milk. This is unsweetened. I only grabbed this. Normally I would make my own. But this was $2.50 on special. So I thought, hey, that's a really good bargain. You get 4 cups in here. I normally use 1 cup of almond milk for my turmeric latte. The benefits of this is you've got more vitamin D than cow's milk. And vitamin D, as well as vitamin C, is what you need for strong bones. 1 cup of almond milk is just 40 calories. 1 cup of dairy milk, so I get this right, is 102 calories. So if you want to cut back on your calorie intake, this is a great way to do it. Keep in mind too that you've got lactose in here. So that is a type of sugar that if your system is sensitive, you may not be able to process properly, especially if you're carb sensitive or carb intolerant like I am. So I have preheated 1 cup of almond milk. Actually, I've preheated a bit more because I really like this drink. Now into this, the key, and this is actually an Ayurvedic, I hope I said that right, recipe. It's what we call golden milk, and it's loaded with health benefits. The first thing we're going to add in here is actually a teaspoon of turmeric. Now turmeric is absolutely wonderful. I love it because it's the color of sunshine, first of all, but it's incredibly potent. So you can have, I believe it's a teaspoon of turmeric into your diet every day will have tremendous health benefits. And the best part is it's anti-inflammatory. So if you are really struggling with things like arthritis, so I was born with juvenile arthritis, you want to add in some turmeric into your daily diet, because not only is it beautiful and it smells amazing, but it actually adds a heap of health benefits. It increases your antioxidant capacity. We all know, antioxidants fight the free radicals that could be cancer causing. So we want to really look after our cells there. It can help with aging and disease as well. So we like that. And the research I read says that the curcumin in turmeric may actually help with lowering the risk of heart disease. So it really is a wonderful, wonderful ingredient to add. Now into this, I'm actually going to add some ground ginger. So my dad was actually a naturopath and a homeopath, and he always said to me, Monique, let food be thy medicine. And I totally agree with this. The reason why I love ginger, aside from that smell, seriously, is that it too is anti-inflammatory. I'm only going to use it, so I used a teaspoon of turmeric there. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of ginger. Ginger is actually wonderful for gently stimulating the metabolism. It's also great for your digestive system. And I'm just checking my notes. Great if you're feeling nauseous. So this is lovely for, say, somebody who might be having morning sickness as well. It's very calming for the tummy. And Gina, here's a good point for you. One study I read said that ginger may actually contribute to lowering your blood sugar. I have to legally say may, but I do know for a fact, having tried it myself, that ginger is a wonderful, wonderful thing to add into your food. So half a teaspoon of ginger there. So good. And finally, cinnamon. Well, actually, no, not finally cinnamon. A little bit of cinnamon, wonderful for your digestion. I'm going to put about half a teaspoon in there. I love cinnamon. I love the smell. And this drink is so creamy and delicious that it is really nourishing and lovely to have. Oh, thank you for the hearts. It's very nice. It is really lovely to have before you go to bed. And there's no caffeine in here, so it is a great alternative. Now, I like a little bit of sweetness. So cinnamon has antioxidant properties. It's anti-inflammatory. It protects your heart health as well. And it, again, Nanny Gina, I know you're watching tonight. So this is really good, again, in that struggle, challenges with blood sugars. And it has been said in one study I read that it may help fight diabetes as well. So do consider more cinnamon. There you go. I heard it's a bit of an aphrodisiac as well. I can say that, it's Valentine's Day, right? I'm going to put in here, so I've got 1 big cup of almond milk, 1 teaspoon of Natvia. Natvia is a sugar alternative made from the stevia plant, so it's made from plant. 1 teaspoon has 0.4 grams of carbohydrates in here. My body, even though I'm carb intolerant, can actually process stevia. So I'm going to put that in there. Delicious. And again, that's all made with almond milk. So from my drawer, grab a wooden spoon. This has all been preheated as well. Now, if you don't want to use stevia, because I know lots of people don't like the flavour, a really good alternative, of course, could be if you can eat medjool dates. What I would do though is I would mix this all up and put it in a blender, because you want to blend down the that medjool date. Or you could use a little bit of honey, would be delicious, or even a little bit of maple syrup. So it's entirely up to you if you're okay with sugars. But again, this is really, tonight's focus is really on your digestive system and your gut health. So there we go. Oh, Tracy Marie, you're back in New Zealand. Good to see you're back. Fantastic stuff there. Okay, so that is my turmeric latte. Now, if I went to a cafe, and I do this quite often because I love this as a drink. If you went to a cafe, you might spend, well, the cafe I go to regularly, I would spend probably $6 on this. This has cost me about $1. $1? No, less than $1, probably 85 cents to make. And it's restaurant quality. Oh, that's going to be lovely. And so loaded with goodness. That's what I love about it. So let me taste it, because I don't want to put you guys wrong. Oh, come on. Oh, seriously. I think because of its colour, you know, I'll show it to you. I hope you can see it. It's bright yellow on the inside. I just think this is sunshine in a cup. Oh, I got that hit of that cinnamon. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Can you see that okay? So beautiful, bright yellow. You've got that cinnamon floating on the top. Now, I know some people are actually, they find if their gut's really unhappy, the cinnamon may be a little bit too much, but the rest of it is absolutely lovely. The full recipe is actually already on my website, and I call it my too lazy to wear pants turmeric latte. And the reason being is that there's a great cafe down the road that makes these drinks. And sometimes I'm just too lazy to put pants on and leave the house. So I decided I was going to make my own, and it really is. It's cafe quality. I'll just have one more taste just in case. Oh, seriously. Oh, that is so good. Oh, yeah. So the great thing is, if you are having a little bit of bloating and you are feeling uncomfortable, look, even the kids would love this. It's just warming and lovely. If you have that before you go to bed, that's really going to calm your gut down. And there's even studies online, you can find them for yourself, that talks about the benefits of drinking golden tea, they might call it, or a golden latte, every day. So it is loaded with health benefits. And the cool thing is, calorie-wise, what is that? Probably about 50 calories all up, not even. It's nothing. It's less than one snack in your diet. So it's low in calories, really beneficial for your health, and it will really help your gut as well. And that's the most important thing, because the gut is the central part of your health and wellness and weight loss journey. So I'll just check the feed. Gina Sterling, you're very bloated, so you can't wait to try this. Oh, this is awesome. You can't wait to try it. Just need to buy some almond milk. It's an acquired taste, do you think? I'm used to it now, so when I was out today, I actually had a iced coffee, and they would normally make it in a cafe with almond milk. With ice cream and cow's milk. And I said, "Can you just do it with almond milk for me?" Oh, stunning! Yes, it is an acquired taste, but once you get used to it, it's actually lovely. And in something like this, look, you could add some vanilla essence if you want to really mask that almond flavour. It's entirely up to you. I mean, it's your recipe now, so you can do with it what you like. But yeah, it's a case of getting used to it, I guess. But then if you have the same expectations as milk, this is not milk. This is a different product altogether. So it's about retraining your taste buds to have something different, I guess. I hope I explained that properly. Pete, would you agree? So I'm just talking to Pete, who's behind the camera, and he talks about the fact that it's about retraining. This style of eating and living is really about retraining your taste buds. Stephen Sebers, I hope I said that right. You're tagging in somebody else. That's what I wanted to say tonight too, guys, is I am absolutely passionate about health, living and lifestyle. I personally have been on a journey. I've lost 40 kilos in weight. I have reclaimed my health, and every day I get better and better. I was pre-diabetic. I had extremely high blood pressure, and I have managed to delete those things from my life purely by changing what I eat and changing my lifestyle. In a couple of weeks' time, I'll be releasing my 4-week program, which is called Beat the Bloat. So if you are really struggling with bloating, what I recommend you do is head to my website, moniquebradley.tv, and sign up to my mailing list, because you'll get the links to that course once it launches. Over 4 weeks, you'll learn all the theory behind why we bloat, the foods that may inflame you, and what to do to relieve that. Because if you're trying to transform your health and even lose weight, you've got to start with that and get your gut right first. So I hope that helps you guys. Jess Tyson, good to see you as well. Sachin Chipudera, great information, thank you. I hope I said your name correctly. And look, at any stage, you know, feel free to personal message me, ask me questions. I'm doing this now as a consulting role because so many people are living with discomfort or bad health. So if I can help you with the tips and tricks I've learnt, I'd love to do that. Finally, Gina Sterling just said, years ago I had to retrain my taste buds when I was diagnosed as a diabetic. So yeah, oh look, you'll smash this then. It really is tasty. I can't wait for you guys to try it. Look for the recipe on my website. I've got to go now. MoniqueBradley.tv is where all the information is. And if you're ready to beat the bloat, look out for my course that's coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. Thank you guys for watching and for being part of my world. Thanks to Pete, who's behind the camera tonight and being my producer. And go out. Happy Valentine's Day. Love you guys. Stay fabulous. Bye.